Have you ever stopped to think about one of the most fundamental questions in all of biology? It's a question that sounds so simple, but the answer, well, it's anything but.
How many different animal species are actually out there, sharing this planet with us? Seems pretty straightforward, right? I mean, we've been exploring and cataloging life for centuries.
The truth is, we have absolutely no idea. And that is the incredible mystery we're going to dive into today.
But before we can even start counting all the life on Earth, we run into our very first roadblock. What exactly is a species anyway?
So the classic definition that scientists use is the biological species concept. Basically, if two animals can breed and their offspring can also breed, they're the same species. But, this doesn't work for everything. What about organisms that reproduce all by themselves? Or what about hybrids? This is just the very first layer of how complex this grand count really is.
Okay, so even with that tricky definition, let's take a look at what scientists have actually managed to count so far. This is the official, cataloged list of life that we know about.
According to the Catalog of Life, which is pretty much the most comprehensive database out there, scientists have officially described and named just over 1.6 million animal species. Now, that's a huge number, for sure. But hold on, because it is just the tip of the iceberg.
Now here's where it gets really fascinating. When you break it down, you can see that insects just absolutely dominate, with over 1 million described species. Then you've got groups like arachnids and mollusks. And way down at the bottom, there we are, mammals, with just under 7,000 known species.
This chart gives us what some biologists call vertebrate shock. We humans, well, we tend to focus on vertebrates, mammals, birds, fish, But look at this. All of them combined make up less than 1% of all known animal life. The world is truly run by invertebrates and especially by insects.
So if that's what we know, what about the vast, great unknown? This is where the numbers start to get a little mind-boggling.
Most scientists agree that the majority of species have never even been seen by human eyes. One landmark study actually tried to put a real number on this mystery.
And here it is. Researchers led by a scientist named Camilo Mora estimated that there are likely around 7.77 million animal species on Earth. And you know what? Some estimates go even higher than that, some up to 30 million.
And this staggering gap, this is the real heart of the mystery. Just look at this side by side. We've officially cataloged 1.66 million species, but we think there are almost 8 million out there. That is a massive chasm in our knowledge of life on our very own planet. Let me put it another way. This means that roughly 80% of all animal species on Earth are still out there, just waiting to be discovered. Think about that for a second. 4 out of every 5 types of animals are a complete mystery to science.
So if millions of species are missing, where on Earth are they all hiding? Let's go explore the planet's hidden majority.
Well, they're hiding in places you'd expect, and some places you probably wouldn't. We're talking about the crushing pressures of deep-sea trenches, the very tops of rainforest canopies, and even inside other animals as parasites. They're also hiding in plain sight as what we call cryptic species, animals that look identical to ones we know but are, genetically, completely different.
As you might guess by now, insects are the undisputed stars of this whole story. To give you a sense of their sheer hyperdiversity, there are over 400,000 described species of beetles alone. That's more than all known plant species on Earth combined.
This incredible diversity is what led the biologist J.B.S. Haldane to famously quip that if there is a creator, he must have an inordinate fondness for beetles. It's just a perfect way to capture how ridiculously dominant they are.
But all this incredible diversity, it leads us to a much more urgent point. This isn't just an academic exercise. It's a real race against time.
Here's where we see the double-edged sword we're facing. On one hand, it's amazing. We're discovering about 18,000 new species every year. But on the other hand, the UN warns that up to 1 million species are currently threatened with extinction. We are losing life faster than we can find it.
So why does this mystery really matter? Well, first, conservation. You can't protect what you don't even know exists. Second, ecosystem health. Every single species plays a role in keeping our planet's life support system stable. Third, human benefit. Undiscovered life could hold the keys to new medicines and technologies we can't even dream of. And finally, it's about understanding our own origins by completing the full tree of life.
Ultimately, this quest to count species isn't just about making some big list. It's about understanding the very fabric of life on Earth.
Which brings us to our final thought. If 4 out of every 5 animals on this planet remain a complete mystery to us, what else about our world are we missing?